Hey guys, here's an update about my trip to Alaska this year. This year being 2015 of December. I did go last year, and you might have seen, if you're a loyal Lash or an avid follower, you will have seen last year's I'm getting ready to go to Alaska video, and I was terrified, nervous, scared to death. It being one of the first times I'd seen my whole family in many, many years. But last year, it went very well. This year, I think it went even better. I was still nervous this year because I even called my mom right before I went to Alaska, buying the ticket and saying, "Mom, do you still want me to come?" She's like, "What do you mean, do you still want me to come? How can you say that?" And I'm like, well, I don't know. I still feel like I'll be rejected or hurt. The truth is, I drastically changed my appearance and drastically changed my speech, meaning I was very careful not to say any curse words or adult language around my relatives, especially my immediate family. And this year I brought my partner, my boyfriend, John, and everyone welcomed him completely. It's funny because I think they didn't know what to do or how to act. I've never brought a guy home before. I've never told my family. My sister Adina was like, "You guys must be really serious if you're going to introduce him to us, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "I figured so. That's what I thought." And she goes, on our last day there, she was like, "I was really, really nervous about him being around my children. I didn't know what to expect. But he's amazing." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And she goes, "Yeah, my first day, when he was there at her house, he was playing with her kids, and her son was pretending to be a dinosaur, a T-Rex, and my boyfriend is a werewolf or a wolf. I'm a mermaid and a dolphin, and I guess Dina's son is a T-Rex." So they're like, "Oh," and T-Rex noises, and they were just having fun. And my sister's like, "Oh my gosh, I felt so safe with him, with my children." Like, we really had a good time. And it's funny because most of my family or cousins or brothers or sisters would come to me later and be like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "He really is straight." And I'm like, "Well, why would I lie to you? Why would I tell you he wasn't straight?" And it's so funny because my family has a hard time. They think of me as male. And why would a straight guy be attracted to me? And I try to explain it to them. Gay men are attracted to masculine, strong, hairy, butch. And straight men are attracted to soft, feminine, curvy, and delicate, and feminine. And lots of people had lots of questions. And it's funny because I was not there to have an agenda or we're going to talk about this. And one of my cousins was like, "Okay, I keep hearing Misty, I hear Dakota, I hear he, I hear she. What the fuck do you want me to call you?" I'm like, "Honey, that's not what this trip is about. This trip is about me being your relative and me loving you and wanting to spend time with you. This is about you calling me whatever you want. I'm not going to be offended no matter what you call me." And she goes, "I'm going to call you Princess." I'm like, "Deal." So she called me Princess the whole trip. And that was fine with me. I'm not offended by whatever they decide to call me or whatever gender. But I did tell my boyfriend before we got there, I'm like, "Just be careful. All my nieces and nephews are going to call me Uncle Cody. And my family's going to call me he." And he's like, "Don't worry, I'm fine." And he was steadfast, and he stayed calling me she the whole time. It was an amazing trip. It was very healthy. The shocking part to me is that my mom and dad allowed John and I, we're not legally married yet. And my parents allowed us to sleep in the same bedroom. And it had 2 twin beds in it, so we didn't sleep together, but we did sleep under the same roof in the same room. And that's major for my parents. Many, many years ago, they made one of my sisters and her boyfriend, the father of some of her kids, sleep in separate beds. And That was traumatic for her. So I think my parents are learning that relationships and family are much more important than the law of the land or the letter of the law or the biblical law. You know, growing up with a minister for a father, it was his way or the highway. It was black or white. It was this or that. There was no in between. There was no gray lines. And after the kids left the house, it was still that way. You come into my house, you obeyed by my rules. Yeah, okay, great. But you can't change who I am as a person. I am who I am. After years of struggling and dealing with it, that's, you know, as a gay man or whatever, you can't change that. You can accept me for me or not. And I think my father and my mother has truly grasped the reality that family is important, life is short, and let's love each other. And I'm totally happy for that. All right, so I've got lots of pictures of my trip, and I'll show them to you now. I thought packing masculine or boy clothes for Alaska was going to be hard, but trying to fit both of our clothes into that suitcase. We're taking our baby to the dog sitter or kitty sitter, and it's hard.
I got all the way.
We're going to Alaska. We're gonna miss her. Kitty! It was raining when you picked her up, huh? Mommy's gonna miss you. She is. She's gonna miss you for 10 days. Hey, we're on the way to the airport. I want to thank my Uber driver. Say hi, Rebecca Glasscock. She's the best Uber driver ever. We are through security and actually getting, he likes his new sweatshirt, getting some breakfast. So I guess I would start with the flight. It was a 12-hour flight all the way from Fort Lauderdale to Chicago and then from Chicago to Anchorage. Thankfully, it was only a one layover. I wore absolutely no makeup at all because I didn't want to have to wash my face when I got in the Chicago or in the Anchorage airport. So I wore no makeup at all. I just took off my earrings when I got there and whatever. So to be respectful to my family and my parents or whatever. But
from your bag since they not permit in cargo hold. We should boarding this way approximately around 3:40 p.m. Again, B10. Thank you for this
they're getting ready to board right now. Next stop, Anchorage, Alaska. See you guys soon. Your kids.
Anchorage, Alaska, 9 freaking hours.
Did you sleep?
Sometimes.
I did. He did. Thank God for my tattooed eyebrows. I love them, and I don't feel like I have to wear makeup all the time now. Like, I feel like I have pretty feminine eyebrows even without makeup, and I'm really thankful for her for doing that for me. When we left Fort Lauderdale, it was noon our time, and we got into Anchorage, Alaska, midnight our time, but it was only 8 p.m. their time. My mom came to the airport and met us. It was her by herself. And she actually scared me, caught me off guard, and came up behind me. Our flight got in early, so I was texting her, telling her that we were already at the airport, and we were outside baggage claim waiting for her. And I thought she was going to be pulling up, but she parked and walked around behind me and scared me. It was really funny. She and John hit it off completely right away. John could not wait to grab a snowball and throw it at me. Do not throw it at me. I knew you were going to do that. Stop it. Baby, don't! I'm going to put your face in the snow.
I made this for a special person.
In fact, I think he threw 7 snowballs at me until I started to be pouty pants and like get mad. Like, stop! I think the real one that pissed me off was when he threw a snowball and I got in my phone, and my phone didn't work for the whole day. But I got my phone back, so thank God for that. But yeah, he loved the snow. He freaking thinks we're in Alaska. Look at his shoes. Nope. You're doing a good job, baby. John really, really loved the snow. He loved all my relatives. All my relatives loved him, and he wants to move there now. We'll go to that topic at the end of the video. But Mom met us. It was 17 degrees. It was between 17 and 20 degrees, 17, 27, the entire trip. I was up there. It snowed a couple times. There was definitely snow on the ground, as you can see in the videos and pictures. One of the first things we did when we got to Anchorage was to go to my sister Gina's house. And her husband and my brother and all of us, all the siblings that were still in Anchorage, got together and we had like a little dinner and watched movies. My mom and dad went back home early to go to bed, but my brother stayed up. My brother, go ahead.
Massage I never get.
My brother's having us exercise in his room.
Then blood will start flowing where it's compressed.
Ladies and gentlemen, she just did some exercise and with that thing, and she is tired as hell. Come on,
Yeah, my milkshake brings other boys to the yard. Dang right, my boys to the yard. My milkshake.
Baby, what do you think? We're in Eagle River visiting my sister and her husband. Say hi, husband.
Hi, husband.
Hi, sister.
Hi, sister.
Hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
What do you got?
My moose.
Hey, everyone. This is my little brother, Shane.
Merry Christ.
Oh, Lord. What's up? It's funny because it was a Saturday night and my brother-in-law plays the drums for the worship team at his church. So he definitely had to get up Sunday morning, and I didn't even know what day it was. I didn't know what was going on. But at 3:30 in the morning on Saturday night, my sister said something about church tomorrow, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys have to go to bed. And they're like, no, we're fine. We've done church with less hours of sleep. I'm like, no, we're going to go. I love you. I'll see you soon. But I didn't know at that moment that I would not see them again until the end of the trip. But thankfully, I did get to see them twice. The next day we got up and we went to Alyeska, which is a ski resort in the mountains. I knew John would be super excited about this. And it's funny because John I'm from Chicago. He was born and raised in Chicago, lived there until he was 13, and the rest he's lived in Florida. By the way, you've lived in Florida longer than you've lived in Chicago. You're now a Florida native. But he does not claim Florida as his home. So he was like running around Anchorage with a tank top and shorts on thinking, I'm not cold. Until he was cold. It was funny. But we were going to the mountain and I'm like, babe, you have to wear a sweatshirt. You have to wear a coat. You have to wear gloves. You have to this, you have to that. And I made him bundle up to go to the mountain. I'm like, you don't understand. It's going to be like 20, 30 degrees difference between here and there. On the mountaintop, it's going to be much, much colder. And it was. This is the view leaving Anchorage, going down to Alyeska for sightseeing today, and we're going to be in those mountains soon.
I don't know what it was.
Baby, what you getting? Someone's enjoying Alaska.
With me and my new mammy. Like,
Look at that view, though.
Mama, it's yelling to Mama.
We are fixing to go all the way up there to the top of that mountain. They don't like me.
Glacial Express closes at 3:45. They kicked that 15 minutes extra today. Silver Bowl was open earlier, but it's closed now. The board tide's open till 4:30.
Into the fog. Mama? up. Shut up. And it was fun though. We got to watch people snowboard. We got to watch people ski, and we walked around. And we were going to have dinner or coffee, but I think our time ran out, and we had to come back and serve dinner with Mom. The cool thing about my parents is they run a halfway house, or it's more like assisted living house. They do 3 different type of intakes. They do the criminal courts, people that are trying to get their foot back on the ground and get jobs and get their life started again. They also do mental health court, and they also do drug Partners for Progress, I think it's called, rehabilitation program. Here's Mama's house, downtown Anchorage. In Mama's office. Say hi, Mama.
Hi, Mama.
Say hi, baby. So one of the cool things about the Henry House is they offer food to everyone. If they want breakfast, they offer them breakfast. Even though there's a couple food pantries in Anchorage, my mom will still give them like oatmeal for breakfast. But every night they get dinner, and every morning they get med pass. So my mom serves like a light breakfast, and she goes and gives them all their morning pills, and then she goes over to the office and runs the office all day, and then she comes back and serves dinner for them, and then does their med pass again. And that's my mom's day. So honestly, when John and I went up, we really didn't have an agenda. We didn't really have, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. I knew Alyeska would be on the to-do list because I always go there for sightseeing when I go to Anchorage, just because it's not that far and it's really beautiful. But most of the time we were there, we just helped my mom in the boarding house.
You recording me trying to get this on?
Mama's picking on you and I want to see it.
Mama been picking on me.
Like in the office, running around doing whatever. With her med pass and serving dinner. Like, we really liked it. And it's funny because my siblings all made fun of me, like, you like that? And I'm like, yeah, I love it. There's a part of my mind that always knew one day I would move back to Alaska. My grandma gave her boarding house to my mom, and my mom, in my mind, will leave me the boarding house one day. And I guess in the back of my mind, I always felt that I would be running it one day in the future. Don't know what it is, but I do. But it was funny because when John was helping us do the med pass, whatever, he'd be listening to my mother talk to the boarders, and she'd be like, all right, now, whatever their name is, let's call him Eyeshadow. All right, Eyeshadow, now you know what you gotta do about that, right? And you know how to deal with this, right? And you know how to think, right? Now what's the next step we're gonna do, and how are we gonna fix this? And he'd look at me and be like, oh my God. My mother is very, very caring and very, very nurturing, and that's me. Like, there was many, many times he would look at me and be like, oh my God, you are your mother. But having the family be the #1 focus for this trip, we really didn't have an agenda or to-do list. So one day we woke up and I'm like, hey, let's walk around downtown. So we got all bundled up. Big baby smile. Look at the sleeping lady behind us. Don't do that. I never walked around downtown and went sightseeing and looking at different shops. And it's funny because we'd walk like 4 blocks and then we'd sneak into a store and steal her heat because we were freezing. Like, let's pretend to buy something. And we go into like this ivory place and there's like these little tiny earrings that are $300. I'm like, we're not doing that. I went to a couple fur coat places and I'm like, oh, I want one. Up to Alaska, so I want to Santa's reindeer. Hi. Are you gonna kiss it? Look at the reindeer. We're downtown Anchorage, and you can see mountains out that way. This is what it looks like when you leave Walmart. in Anchorage, Alaska. We're in downtown Anchorage, and Chicago is 2,000 some miles away. There's downtown Anchorage, and we're down by the port. Say hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
And then, of course, the mountain range. And Mom's truck down there. Welcome to Alaska. We did a lot of sightseeing and walking around downtown. And one of the days of walking around downtown, we actually went to the Anchorage Museum. The first 2 floors were amazing. A lot of native, we call them natives, the Eskimo people. We call them the natives. And there was a huge native exhibit and education and culture about the Native Americans and how they went whale hunting and how they made their coats and the type of houses they lived in. It was amazing. And then the 3rd and 4th floor were what? Pointless. Literally, we had to pay a couple bucks extra for the 3rd floor, and I wished we didn't. It was just dumb. And the 4th floor was pointless as well. But we learned a lot, and we had a great time at the Anchorage Museum. This parka is made of seal intestines because it's waterproof.
Intestines?
So the fishing Eskimos would wear this on top of their coat. The bottom hooks around the kayak, and it goes over top of this one. Wow. That's a big elevator, babe.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. Come on, you got 10 seconds. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go ahead. How was your ride, baby? It was good? Yeah.
Woo! Come on, Daddy. Are you all the way up? Okay, go. Let go. Baby, you're literally hot. The whitest is the warmest.
Bubba girl.
Woo! That was. Woo!
Go.
That guy.
It's a big chunk of meat we got there.
Ooh. King crab.
I found a hermit crab. I found Missy's brother.
He's a hermit. I love this person. Right, baby? What? Here's from the Alyeska Museum. The other side of downtown. My parents' house is right over there. Ta-da. And then we went home. We were fortunate enough to do lunch with Mom almost every day. And we did lunch with one of my favorite cousins, Robin, who actually works in Anchorage. So that was convenient. She popped in and came and had lunch with us and got to meet John and get the DL. Like, I knew she wanted the 411 or get to take the temperature before we all like hung out as a big group of people. So I did a lot of explaining and how we met and all that. Because if all the others had questions, she'd be the perfect one to answer them for them. Like, what's he like? What's he like? But we did lunch with Mom a lot. We're going to go get something to eat.
If you love Christmas music,
Say hi, Doug.
you just can't get enough.
And there's my mom and dad. We did Indian food one day and it gave John terrible runs. Really bad runs. It was not cute, to be honest. It was not fun. Because he had to go to the bathroom a lot. And that's not fun when you're on vacation. And then finally we got to go to the valley to meet and hang out with all my cousins and my aunt and uncle. And it was amazing. I've talked about one of my uncles in several of my videos, talking about how I feel like he was homophobic as a child. And to be completely honest with you, this trip, I did not feel any awkwardness or uncomfortableness from him. It was just like nothing was weird or strange or nothing. He even called me by my full name, my middle name. He was doing something to go out, and he was getting to leave, and he's like, "Hey," and he said my full name with my middle name and everything. And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, come here." And so like we shot the shit for a couple seconds about something, whatever. And I felt really loved by him, and accepted by him. And I'm glad, because I never really thought that would happen. I know that he loves me. I know that he accepts me. But as a child, I just witnessed some things that I assumed he didn't love me. And my aunt told me too on the last trip, she's like, I'm not going to tell you that those things didn't happen, because they did. But I will tell you they were not directed to you. Aunt was like, he loves you, and he would never treat you that way. And you might have heard things like that, but again, they were never treated to you or pointed at you, which I know. And he totally did make me feel very, very comfortable. So we had a very big dinner at one of my cousin's houses. And then I went to my other cousin's house and we crashed. She had a very small, I think it was a full-size bed, but it was the first time John and I got to sleep together in Alaska. But we were so tired. We barely got to cuddle, and we just fell asleep. Crash, zonked out. And then the next day we woke up very early and we went shooting. I want to say hunting, but we didn't actually hunt nothing. We went to like a redneck or hillbilly gun range in the middle of a field in the middle of nowhere that's miles and miles from property. They, I guess, have target practice. And my cousin's boyfriend had a big, I guess, a skeet machine on the back of his truck, and it would shoot out clay pigeons. And he taught me how to use a gun. Now, the thing is, I have been anti-guns my entire life. As a very young child, I witnessed my biological father pull guns on my mother. He tried to shoot my mom, one time skimming her stomach with a bullet. To me, guns have always been a very, very violent and very, very bad thing. Then, of course, when I was very little, my dad, my biological father went hunting and brought in a dead deer into the living room. It was like, "Look, I killed Bambi." And I just cried and cried and cried. And I've just been anti-guns my whole life.
Okay, so there's this button right here. Right now, it's locked. It won't come back. Okay. So you hit this button right down here, and that releases this. Mm-hmm. Go back and slam the shell up in there. And then this is the safety. If you go up, you got red, you're dead. Is how I remember. Red, you're dead.
Oh, red means it's alive.
Yep. So then, this is ready to shoot now. So just aim, close one eye, look down the barrel, and put that BB right on the bottom, right in the center of that jug.
Oh.
Perfect.
Okay. Wanna try it?
I don't know.
Maybe you should cock it for her and just let her shoot it.
Okay, call it. I'll pull it back. So that's ready to go. Just put it up in your shoulder.
On the right shoulder.
On your right shoulder.
So don't put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready.
Put your lip in there.
And don't pull,
Tighten
squeeze.
your shoulder like that. There you go.
You hold it here.
Yep, right there.
I have to do the pocket?
Nope, you're ready to go. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Step up a couple steps.
Be confident.
And
Don't pull, squeeze.
keep a tight grip.
And it's gonna hurt me, right?
No, it's
No.
not. Just make sure you got a good grip on it and just pull the trigger. It don't matter if you hit it, just shoot it.
Woo!
Okay. I felt it, but it didn't hurt.
So then you'd be ready to go again.
Oh gosh.
You gotta get used to it. You don't gotta hit nothing, just shoot.
Why do I see it on the BB, but it's not hitting it?
You might be aiming a little high. Cock another one in there.
Oh,
Yep, just pull this hand back. Stand before. Ooh, that looked like it was heavy. Yep, we're out of bullets. Go. Try with two eyes open.
He tells me to do that too, and it's weird, but it works.
Yeah, you got it, John.
I got it?
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, nice.
Nice. Did I get it again?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm not even sure.
Yay!
Watch your point, Nick. Go jack another shell in there.
How am I doing this?
Here we go. That one lives. See you another day.
We are in Houston, Alaska. And I just hit my first 2 clay things. It's funny because my stepdad, my dad now, tried to teach me guns when I was younger, and I'm like, no, I don't like guns. I won't do guns. I don't like them. I'm not doing it. It's not going to happen. But my boyfriend wanted to shoot something. So my cousin was like, let's go shoot guns. So they taught me how to use a gun. And it's funny because, or it's cool because I was in a very safe environment, in a non-judgmental environment. And it's funny because growing up, you know how they expect boys to be good at certain things, and like if you fail, if you don't succeed, then everyone laughs at you. And I never felt pressure to do or be anything. Yeah, you got that one. Like you'll see in the video that I'm very taken care of and nurtured. And it truly was because they were so loving and nurturing that I was willing to learn. I learned how to shoot a shotgun, and my cousin Robin had a .22 pistol. So I shot both, the pistol and the shotgun. And it was because the movie Purge, after watching The Purge, like, holy fuck, what if I were in a situation like that and somebody hands me a gun? I wouldn't know if the safety was on. I wouldn't know how to turn it off. I wouldn't know how to load it. I wouldn't know how to nothing. I wouldn't know how to nothing. So when this opportunity presented itself, I definitely took advantage. And I did a lot of target practice, especially with beer cans and beer bottles and Mountain Dew bottles and even trees and branches. And then my cousin's boyfriend got out a skeet machine, I think it's called, clay pigeons. And they're like, do you think you're ready? And I'm like, I don't know. But John got his first 2 clay pigeons, and then it was my turn, and I got my first 2. I don't know how that happened.
Nice.
Did I get it again?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm not even sure.
I got my first 2 clay pigeons, and then I had 4 bullets in my shotgun. So I got my first 2 clay pigeons, and then I shot it 2 more times and missed. And I said, you know what? That 50% odds is good for me. I don't need more. But the reality is, John really, really, really was having a good time. So, and I knew that when the clay pigeons dropped, they broke. So I was like, dude, don't worry about me. Let him shoot all the clay pigeons. I'll shoot beer cans and bottles and stuff like that. So I went crazy and started shooting everything. But I had fun. I had an amazing time. And my cousin and her boyfriend were very, very, very nurturing and very loving and very accepting and very patient. And her boyfriend, I'm trying not to use names, but I'm getting ready to show you a video and you're going to see their face. But he was very patient and very loving. And he didn't want to take the spotlight at all. Like, if it was most guys, I think they'd be like, all right, it's my turn to shoot. We're shooting and I'm shooting. He didn't shoot at all. He operated the skeet machine or the clay pigeon machine and let everyone else have their fun. And I really respect that about him. She's got a good guy. Anyways, my family's cool. So then we went hiking in Hatcher's Pass. And Hatcher's Pass is, I guess, a pass over a mountain. It was gorgeous, freaking cold. Again, living in Florida, we don't have Alaskan weather, so I had to borrow some stuff from my cousins. He borrowed some stuff from my cousins. We walked on some ice. We did some like nature watching and viewing. My cousins all went snowboarding. Well, not all of them. Some of my cousins had snowboards. And we just hiked and watched and looked and sightseeing and got really cold and went in. And finally, we got to go inside, and the coffee was really expensive, so we didn't have coffee. We just looked around, and then we went back down. Hey, baby. No. Look at how thick that ice is. Babe, be careful. Oh my god. Aren't you afraid you're gonna fall in?
No.
I love the hair. Easy does it. I feel like you guys are way too close to the trail through. Go, Jen, go.
My badass cousins, Jen and Kelsey, going down the mountain. There they go. Hatcher's Pass. Look at how gorgeous it is.
Hey, look.
Baby.
Look, that's my butt print.
And we're moving. And we're off. And I'm changing gears. And I just tried almost.
Yes. Sled in. And then way back there's Independence Mine. Look, someone with my car in Alaska. Woo-hoo. It's gorgeous. Going down the mountain, here we go.
Coming around.
It's gorgeous. And the last night, I went back to my sister's house and we made gingerbread houses.
Let's pop in your finger.
Lightsaber lose power.
Bella
Grace, come on back in. You don't have a coat on now. Come on.
Look how pretty this is out here. Why don't you decorate that tree like a Christmas tree?
No, wouldn't that
Careful not to mix up house pieces. Alright, so let's do one house at a time.
Okay, but do you just break them?
I don't know. Looks like a little village.
It's a little village.
like best friends with them too?
Grandpa's girl. Color it in with your little skin. That rhymes, but.
A blizzard warning for the following Alaska counties: Valdez, Cordova, Census area, Matanuska, Susitna-Borough, Kenai Peninsula Borough, and Anchorage.
Are we gonna eat?
Is this the first time you've ever done that, John?
Yep.
And look at that. Where's the door?
Door's right there on my fingers at.
Yeah, look at that. This is the first time you've ever done that, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that smile on your face. Look at you. Look at that, John.
Okay.
No.
No, I have to rebuild.
I told you it would if you picked it up.
Can I eat that?
Not yet. After dinner.
Look at that, John. Look. Now, what is that? A village where, John? Little house in the village of where?
In Alaska.
In Alaska. Now, what's the name of your village?
Broke down.
His structure's better than
Now
mine.
you get to bite it. Take a bite. See if it tastes good. There you go. And ta-da!
Isaac! Bella!
Bella, you want to take a bite?
Go eat your eggs. Got eggs.
Ooh.
Go bite? And just sat around, and that's the night I got emotional. My mother and I took a picture. Oh my gosh, I waited a couple of days to this video because I want to cry. I feel like I'm going to cry right now. My mom took a picture with me, and I didn't see the picture until later. But my mother's expression was so raw and so genuine and so... Well, and it just struck me. Like, I was sitting there talking to my sister, I was going through my phone, and I just started crying. And I got up and I turned around and so nobody could see me, and I went away and they were all talking. Nobody even noticed. And my sister's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing." And I showed her the picture and she goes, "We all love you." I was like, "I know." the cool thing is blood truly is thicker than water. And no matter what hardships or no matter what differences, like it's funny because I'm Democrat, my family is Republican, and Donald Trump was on the TV, and I looked at my dad and I said, look, I'm not trying to talk politics, but I am curious. What are your thoughts on Donald Trump? And he goes, I hope he doesn't make it. I go, okay, good, we agree. He goes, but I do hope a Democrat doesn't make it either. And I let it go. But it was funny because we have differences, and that's okay. But even though you might have differences, political, religious, spiritual, or whatever, we're still family and we still love each other. And that's amazing. That's a blessing. I felt very, very loved on this trip. The negative thing about visiting Anchorage in the winter is nothing was open. We looked at the festivities and activities map, and every single activity was closed for the winter. The Haunted Anchorage tour, the bus tour, there's only one thing open, and it was too freaking expensive, so we couldn't do it. But it was dog sledding. It was $400 a person, and they would outfit you in proper winter clothes and actually take you out and teach you how to dog sled, which would be an amazing welcome to Alaska thing to do, but wow, expensive. Can't do it. Can't afford it. And that's okay. But on the next trip up, I hope to take him up. Now it's funny because in Alaska, he was really, 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 really pushing me to move to Alaska. And I told him, I said, look, babe, if you really, really, really want to move, we can talk about it and work it out. There's definite things that need to happen before we move. If we move. But I'm so thankful that he feels welcome. Yeah. Anyways, if we go up, the next time we go up, I want it to be, there's no way we can afford to go this summer. So next summer, I'd like to go up and do all the Alaska in the summertime. Because I was trying to explain to him that in the summer, the sun doesn't set. I mean, it is like, you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, it looks like noon. And it's funny because he heard from a lot of people that it would be dark in Anchorage in the wintertime. And it's the same amount of darkness as it is in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, yes, the sun does set behind mountains. So like about 45 minutes more of darkness than we get. But it's not dark. It's more like a dusk. Like you see the sun behind the mountains. It's just not shining on you. But it's the same darkness as we get in Fort Lauderdale. So that really didn't affect us. We had lots of daylight and lots of gorgeousness. But I know that when he goes up for the summer, he's going to be sold for sure. If he's sold for sure on the winter, he's going to want the summer. So, but I really want to go up and do the touristy fun things in 2 summers. Because that would be fun. This is us saying bye to Alaska.
Bye, Alaska. For now, we're coming back. Coming back.
Did you have a good time? Okay, so we officially stopped crying. What are you doing? What was your favorite part?
I do, yeah. Coming to Alaska.
What did you think of my mom and dad?
They're marvelous. Bloody marvelous.
What did you think of my cousins?
Smashing dogs.
Are you always British?
All the time.
All the time. Do you make fun of me when I'm British?
Some fish and chips.
You did have that way. Anyways, here we go.
Put our stuff up so we have a good place to put it.
Look, we have a very famous Uber driver. It's Amanda Alston. We're home, baby. Are you ready to be home? Did Green Dog Daycare take good care of you? Are you glad to be home? Did you miss your mommy? I don't know. But yes, my trip to Alaska was amazing. It was a blessing. It was fun. My next trip up to Alaska, I think I will have made a very public announcement. And no, like I said. But it's funny how nervous I get. This year I was especially nervous about them meeting him and reacting to him. But everyone was like, he really loves you. And my brother was like, oh my God, he's such a good boyfriend for you. He's nothing like your ex-boyfriend. I know. I really lucked out. He put a spell on me though, because I kept saying no. I kept saying no. No, no, no. And he's like, please, will you be my girlfriend? I'm like, nope. But here I am. I don't know. But my trip to Alaska was amazing. And hopefully you enjoyed the pictures and video. Loving is easy.